Saturday, Joe Espada said this about Kyle Tucker. It sounds worse than the last time that we heard an update on Kyle Tucker from either Dana Brown or Joe Espada. Off the top of my head, I forget. Essentially, they said, well, he should be back by September. This time, it sounds a little murkier whether or not he will be back this month. Joe Espada, quote, "It'd be great, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to happen." Kyle Tucker rejoining the team before the end of August. "It's kind of day to day. See how he feels and how we build him up. But it'd be too aggressive for me to say that we'll have him by the end of the month. It's a possibility, but not going to go there."
Okay, so he possibly could be back in August. He possibly could be back in 2025. That's kind of what I'm hearing right now.
You're hearing the latter a little more, huh?
It doesn't seem like he's making any fundamental progress. Like, has he run yet? I don't think he has. I think at most he's thrown a baseball. He has swung a bat.
He has yet to hit or run on the field since his injury. He took ground balls on the Astros' last road trip, but his on-field activity for the past few days has just been playing catch. He is doing exercises indoors with a medicine ball, but not exercises that include a baseball or glove. I didn't know there were exercises that include baseballs or gloves other than throwing the ball. More from Joe Espada on Kyle Tucker, quote, "We are having a conversation with him, how we're going to handle the next couple of weeks, because I think he's getting close for us to kind of push him out there and start doing more active, more intense stuff." Next couple of weeks means he's not going to be back by mid-August.
I don't like that kind of that's in there either. Where like they just don't. It's just I don't understand how they have nothing more definitive going on right now. I mean, at some point he's got to go for a rehab start. He's just got to start running the bases to see. I mean, that's what like is where I don't expect Kyle Tucker to play this season at this point because they don't even know how running to second base will feel. Like in terms of setbacks, they don't even like we're not even close to getting into setback territory because he's just doing nothing. So I just and what are you gonna do? Put like a mechanical shin guard on him to make sure he doesn't do this again?
I don't know.
I mean, if he hits it again, he might have to chop it off. So it's just going so slow at this point. I don't want to bank on Kyle Tucker coming back this season.
So that's Kyle Tucker. What about the other injured Houston Astros? Well, we've been waiting to hear this officially from somebody in the organization. Joe Espada was also asked about Lance McCullers. Here's what the Astros skipper had to say.
I've been talking to Lance a little bit, and you know where he's at right now. I think it's safe to say that I don't think he'll pitch this season. You know, it'd be almost too much to ask for him to ramp up and get him back this season. You know, everything is moving in the right direction, but just where we at right now, the number of games, I think it's that's where we at.
At least it's official now. I'm actually breathing a sigh of relief here. You know what? We don't even have to talk about Lance McCullers the rest of the year.
Yeah, until we get to we'll get to November, and then we're gonna follow the same timeline we followed this year. I'm gonna bank on it. I'm gonna be super negative about these injury reports, I guess, because last year in November, December, Lance McCullers told everyone that he was gonna be able to start ramping up in January, and then we got to spring training, and he had a major setback, and he's missed 2024. That's what we're on schedule for right now. Is he's going to be ready for spring training 2025?
We hope.
We hope. This feels very Steven Strasburg to me, where he can't. I mean, it's been 2 years. I saw this floating around social media yesterday. It was very funny. Martin Maldonado has more pitching appearances for the Houston Astros in the last 2 seasons than Lance McCullers. I mean, think about it. Any position player who's pitched for the Astros has more pitching appearances than your $17 million a year Lance McCullers. I feel bad for him.
It's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
I think the people that slam him for still being hurt, you're missing the point. It's the Astros' fault that they gave out this contract, much like it's the Astros' fault that they gave out that contract to Jose Abreu, much like it's the Astros' fault that they gave out this contract to Rafael Montero. It was a lot of money at the time. I remember having a conversation on the air before with Jeremy Branham, and Jeremy actually liked the contract. I don't know if he would still feel the same way about it after a year and a half. What I do know is that contract was not a good one from the start, just given the guy had minor issues before it, if I'm not mistaken. He's had some good moments, iconic moments as a Houston Astros pitcher, but yeah, we're not going to see him this year. No one is surprised by that.
No, don't.
At all. So that was something you expected, but we do have also updates on, one, Justin Verlander, and two, Luis Garcia. The Garcia ones are confusing, so let's try to make sense of this one. He had soreness in his elbow Friday after playing catch Thursday, which meant that his rehab assignment, which was supposed to begin this weekend, has been placed on hold, but he felt better on Saturday.
Okay.
You need a flowchart for that one.
So he was sore the next day, but then it was gone the following day. So he's just not feeling, it's like when you get back to the gym the first time in a long time, you feel awful the next day. That's kind of where he's still at right now. I mean, they said they did an x-ray and there was no damage, so that's a positive. But he's like Lance. At some point, I'm actually kind of surprised Joe Espada didn't just say the same thing in terms of ramping up and whatnot. I guess there's still an outside shot that they think Luis Garcia could be a bullpen pitcher, for the team this year. But it feels very eerily similar to Lance, where it's just the calendar is what's hurting Luis Garcia at this point.
And then the last one.
Liars.
Liars? Wow. I mean, they're being intentionally vague so that they aren't 100% liars.
They're 100% liars with this coming one.
Oh. With Justin Verlander?
Yes.
Interesting. Well, I know what Verlander said. The live batting practice that he threw went great, and he expects to be back with the Astros after 2 rehab starts. Why are they liars, Joe?
Because that's
Verlander saying that.
Because he admitted that he's been doing shoulder rehab. He hurt his shoulder. He said he's been doing shoulder and neck rehab.
Okay.
They tried to say it was just a neck injury.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah, they're just liars. Like, they just lie about injuries. It's just annoying. Like, it's awesome.
Well, HIPAA, they gotta lie.
I know. You don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Joe. Lying is key to life.
It's okay to say his shoulders hurt.
Faking it until you make it. That's how this works. That's how all of it works.
At least this one feels encouraging because he gave a real timeline. And I think maybe because he was speaking, not Espada speaking for him, it makes you feel even better.
Yeah.
But, like, JV will be back soon. That's good.
Yeah. Gosh, you're focusing on the negatives. Come on. In a segment where it doesn't seem like Kyle Tucker's going to be back in August, Lance McCullers will be back ever, or Luis Garcia will be back this year, we should focus on the positive. That Justin Verlander is going to be back soon. Right. We hope.
Yeah, 2 rehab starts as long as he's feeling good today. Just like as long as he's feeling good today.
Mm-hmm.
2 rehab starts are next. I don't know if that'll be in Sugarland or in Corpus, but so we're 2 weeks away from Justin Verlander being back on the Astros. That's okay. He is right. When he talked about it, he talked about not wanting to rush back, getting that pitch count back up. It's better to have him do that in the minors, even though you could use him on the Major League roster right now. Like, at least he's going to pitch this season. That's positive. 1 out of 4. 25% positivity rate for the Houston Astros right now.
We have a text focusing on Kyle Tucker. This person says, I think Kyle Tucker is holding out for a new contract. Another texter asks, should we have looked into what we could have got for Tucker before the trade deadline? No, to that one. That's reckless speculation on the first one. A lot of people seem to feel that way, though, based off of a couple of YouTube posts that we have had on the @ESPN Houston YouTube channel about Kyle Tucker. There's this weird tinfoil hat conspiracy going on that this is Tucker's doing.
It's almost like because Josh Hader was so public and we had to have those discussions that, like, we've, like, since it's like, oh, Josh Hader wouldn't do this because of his contract. Now everyone's like conspiracy theory about Kyle Tucker in a similar manner. I don't believe that. I think everyone's just confused on how they said it was going to be a couple days and now we're in month 3. We went from 3 days to 3 months of Kyle Tucker. Like, it's hard to wrap your brain around when they tell you one thing and it's just so dramatically different. It opens your mind to conspiracy theories.
Yeah, Pinche. Tucker's a disgruntled employee. He tanked last postseason. See, this is how it starts. You throw one out there, everyone's like, you know what? Interesting.